Next on Belmont Park Live, the speedy Bowtown Cat will try to get separation from the field and play Catch Me If You Can in today's 6th race. There's been plenty of positive press of late for great reviews. The up-and-coming filly will try and win her 3rd straight for her Hall of Fame trainer in what is her toughest test yet. And we'll be joined live by trainer Mark Cassidy, who holds a strong hand in this weekend's Mother Goose with Road to Victory, and in the first leg of the Canadian Triple Crown, the Queen's Plate. We'll talk about all that and much more coming up on this Thursday edition of Belmont Park Live. It's presented by Claiborne Farm, 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Good crowd on hand here for this Thursday afternoon card. Nice weather as well. We're about half hour away from race 6. And the usual cast and crew back for more. Greg Wolf alongside former New York Met, LA Dodger, Paul LaDuca, New York Racing Association handicapper Andy Serling. Maggie Wolfendale will join us in just a little bit. Race 7, our feature race today. Queen Layla just missed it at allowance optional 62 level last time out. That was first off the claim for David Jacobson. What do you think here second off the claim? Does he get her to the winner's circle?
Well, I mean, listen, she's going to be one of the fillies to beat in here. The 3 outside fillies are probably going to be all your choices. Now, she looked dead home last time out, and she just got beat. Now, Jacobson went over to California to get this filly by the Factor, and she might like a little moisture. She's never run over it, but this was a tough beat if you had her on that day at Santa Anita.
It's interesting with David Jacobson and his California horses. He has made some great purchases with horses from California and some terrible ones.
Right.
There have been a really dichotomous, and I have a feeling she might turn out to be one of the good ones. And I like her chances today.
I'm with you. I like her chances. The issue is, Wolfie, what happens with the 5 and the 6 in there? There is other speed in the race.
There is, and the 5 great reviews in that race. We'll get into it deeper in a little bit, but she has won 3 of her last 4 for Belmont. Intriguing race still to come. We're going to have the late pick 3 ahead, just 8 races on today's card. We're off the turf today. Getting to the conditions here in a moment, but dealing with muddy track. That 6th race, entry-level allowance group, race 7, as we were just talking about. 6 furlongs on the main track, allowance optional 62 group. Close things out with a $75,000 maiden claiming race in the 8th. That one off the turf as well. Weather and track conditions brought to you by Piranha Fly Spray. The preferred fly spray of Belmont Park. Piranha on, pests gone, main track muddy, and we are off the turf today. And again, races 6 and 8 were originally scheduled for the grass. Here is a look at the field current odds for the 6th, and Conquest Tis Fire. Right now, Javier Castellano aboard for James Lawrence. This is the one to beat on the board at 2-1.
Surprised that she's favored right now. And actually, it was interesting. She could be favored based on some of the multi-race payoffs. And you would have thought that an MTO, a horse that was entered to run only on dirt, would be favored in that, the 7 Posse needed ball.
The other one is Shimmering Moon, the 6 in here, who's 0 for 5 over wet surfaces. I understand the dirt races are good and probably needed that last race, but I'm surprised that horse is actually your second choice.
Yeah, we'll talk much more about this field. Intriguing group in here, but again, with it coming off, kind of narrowed down your possibilities here in this race as we look at what happened earlier on in the card here, part of the Naira Bets Late Pick 5. Just, this was it, a 3-horse field.
Yep, nobody wanted to stay in for piece of the purse to finish 4th, and you're an English Dancer at 1-5 got it done. But we did get the 3rd choice home in the first leg of the Naira Bets Late Pick 5 ball.
Yeah, and a horse that paid $7.90 almost got 3-1. And I think, you know, obviously this horse at 1-5, it was a 3-horse race, and a lot of people will either single this horse or they went all in here. So,
or they used 2.
Yeah, or they used 2. I don't know what it does in the Naira Late Pick 5, but we still have 3 contentious races left, so I wouldn't think it's still not going to, I don't think it's going to hurt it that bad.
This is not an easy race, the race number 6 coming up. I don't absolutely trust Posse Needed. $260.
Yeah, short price, but that was part of this sequence right here. Naira Bets Late Pick 5 follow along. Full of Hope, $7.90, and then that 1-5.
But the truth is, you can use a horse that paid 1-5 as your friend. You single her, you single her, and it gives you a lot more coverage in other races. So there have been plenty of pick 5s or pick 4s that have paid big money that include a very short-priced winner.
You make a great opinion. And listen, the 6 in here, race in here is tough, and so are the last 2 are as well.
Get signed up, get started, play along. Be part of the fun. Go to NYRaBets.com. $200 sign-up bonus for new members. Use the promo code LIVE to take advantage. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime at NYRaBets.com. All right, Paul, pick 3. Races 6, 7, and 8 here.
Well, I'm taking my shot here in race number 6 and trying to single and beat everybody with the 7 in here. Posse needed the main track only horse. Blinkers go on. Now, Mark Hennig is 0 for 22, his last 22, putting the blinkers on. I thought that would sway people away from this horse, and I was right, 6-5 to 3-1. But if you look at the horse's races, she's getting better and better, and I think she gets a cozy outside slot, 4, 5, 6, and then in race number 8, I'm going to try to get my price.
All right, so the pick 3 coming up. We have 26 minutes to post ahead. We'll have more on this field coming up. We're going to check in now with Maggie Wolfendale for what's trending and some news on our Triple Crown winner.
Yes, just a couple days after parading there at Santa Anita, Greg, to see a lot of fans. He just must think he's the biggest rock star. He is back on the track and galloping very nicely for trainer Bob Baffert. I found an interesting fact. The 12 previous Triple Crown winners, the average time between when they started their career and winning the Triple Crown, winning the Belmont, was 11 months. Justify 4 months. That is remarkable. It's as if he's accomplished the biggest test in racing and is like, yeah, what's next? Well, we don't know what's next. Bob Baffert stating that they'll make a decision after he returns to the Breeze Tab for the first time, but it seems as though this horse is just absolutely relishing having racing and training. So looking forward to what Justify will bring for the latter half of 2018. Speaking of looking forward to something, Saratoga, it is right around the corner. And as always, we have those giveaways. We are looking at 2 Sundays and 2 Mondays up at the spa as people usually line up around the corner to take part. We're giving away a baseball hat to start things off, and then an umbrella. Sometimes it does rain up in Saratoga. You never would know when that's coming. Nice to be prepared. And then a blanket to snuggle up with, maybe catch a seat in the backyard, and to cap things off, a windbreaker for that final Sunday up at the spa. Midnight Bisou, Mother Goose, just a couple days away this Saturday. Midnight Bisou coming in for trainer Steve Asmussen. I caught her schooling in the paddock earlier with assistant trainer Scott Blasi, and I liked her, guys. I mean, she just had this presence about her. She's one of those horses that just looks straight through you and straight in the eye, and that's usually a good sign of a racehorse. And guys, I know you'll be discussing the rest of the field for this Mother Goose coming up shortly. Greg?
Maggie, thank you. We will. Mike Smith, regular pilot on Midnight Bisou, making his return where he just made Triple Crown history. Justify, by the way, going to have a workout potentially as early as next week. We'll talk more about Midnight Bisou, though, next.
I know, right? There's no work. Oh, there.
This graded stakes winner and multiple Grade 1 performer by Tapit has become one of the nation's leading sires of 2-year-olds. Ranked #1 in his crop by number of winners, he sired 11 stakes horses in 2017, including graded stakes winners Wild Shot and Oklahoma Derby winner Untrapped. At the sales, his yearlings have sold up to $480,000. Trap Shot, standing at Claiborne Farm. His record-breaking accomplishments on the racetrack paved his way here to the Stall of Legends. Now retired to stud, we welcome the dawning of a new era as this esteemed champion hopes to stake his claim to immortality. His blazing speed and striking good looks have been passed down to his remarkable first foals. Foals that will carry the flag of their famous father and one day hope to break records of their own. Medication-free and undefeated in sprint competition. Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
And Jersey Girl rolls to the lead, and she's opening up on the field by 3. and Jersey Girl rolls to the lead, and she's opening up on the field by 3. Canis Diana's been left behind, running second. Added Gold under a heavy drive, she's third. Banshee Breeze on the far outside fourth, and Keeper Hill is coming now in the final furlong. Jersey Girl, 3.5 length lead. Canis Diana running in second. Keeper Hill continues to close, but time running out. It's Jersey Girl there by 3. Keeper Hill gobbling up ground as they come down to the line. Here's the finish. Jersey Girl holds on.
Now, that was Mike Smith back in 1998 in the Mother Goose, winning for Todd Pletcher and Jersey Girl. She beat in that field Kentucky Oaks winner Keeper Hill, the Kentucky Oaks runner-up Banshee Breeze, the year's prior champion juvenile filly Canis Diana, and the Black-Eyed Susan winner Added Gold. That was a loaded Mother Goose field.
Unbelievable here. I mean, Keeper Hill and Banshee Breeze, they were monsters. The Mother Goose is a who's who of great horses in that division over the last umpteen years.
It's unreal, the fillies and mares that Mike Smith has ridden. You just saw 3 right there, and then you got Inside Information, you got Zenyatta, you got Azeri, you can throw Abel Tasman in there now. I mean, I'm probably missing about 5 or 6 more. It's insane how many great fillies he's ridden.
And on another very good one, we're going to see him in this weekend at midnight, Bizou, who, taking a look here at the win of the Santa Anita Oaks, but connections feel like the Kentucky Oaks might have been maybe her best race with all the trouble that she had in that race and still managed to get third against Monomoy Girl.
She's obviously very, very good. Yeah. I mean, it's not going to be easy. She's got a serious rival in this race and some other nice horses, but she's pretty good, Paul.
No, she's very good. Very rarely in California do you see sweeping moves like this, you know, like that's just dominating in California. You can see it here every once in a while because the turns are a lot sweepier, and but this is a real deal, this horse.
Squeezed at the start here, shuffled back just a few strides in. She had to go 7 wide, and she really didn't have a great chance in this race to get the win, and still she managed to hit the board.
Well, she's a very good horse, right? I agree. I mean, I don't think she was going to win, but she definitely didn't have the best of trip. Put it this way, she didn't have as good a trip as the first 2 finishers there, that's for sure.
No, and let's be honest. Listen, Monomoy Girl came back to win again. Wonder, are we calling her Wonder Godot?
Wonder Godot.
Okay, came back and run a very good second, a gutty second in the Woodbine Oaks, and you're going to see her in the Queen's Plate. So those are 2 nice horses in front of her after she encountered trouble.
Connections have been itching to get her back and get some redemption for what happened in that race. And now, of course, she's with a new barn. She's with Steve Asmussen.
No, listen, I mean, Phil Sparta did a great job with her.
Oh, yeah, he did.
It's a lateral move, but obviously Steve Asmussen does a great job.
Here's the other thing. You know this too, Wolfie. Bill Spar and Mike Smith have been together forever. They go way back. Blue's the standard if you want to go to a sprinter way back in the day. So I would be pretty confident that Mike is relaying the same information, how this horse goes for Steve, you know?
I still think Road to Victory is going to run very, very well in this race. I mean, she's the only horse that's beaten Monomoy Girl.
Yeah.
Still, she's lightly raced.
We're going
to talk more about her coming up in the show. Of course, Mark Cassidy's going to be joining us a little bit later on, but should be a fascinating renewal of the Mother Goose. Perfect Sting coming up this weekend as well, as we take a look at the field and the morning line. And for Chad Brown, sending out Thais 3-1, second choice, but going to be dealing with La Sardane in there. But Thais coming off a victory last time out at over a mile on a good turf course at Belmont.
She got a good trip, and it wasn't as tough a field as she meets in the Perfect Sting. I think the Perfect Sting came up a very competitive race, but clearly Thais is one of the major players, if not the horse to beat.
Well, she got her first win here in North America over a softer surface, a little bit of giving the ground, but I don't think that really matters because it looked like she was taking bad steps down the lane, but she held sway very, very easily in there, and maybe she progressed a little bit and took a step forward.
But La Sardane is okay. I mean, the horse that has the win here in the Intercontinental and our Belmont Stakes Racing Festival, that's a very competitive field, and it's a good field for a race name for a really good horse, a Perfect String. I think owned by Frank Stronach. I think that was a Stronach.
Yes, it was. Yeah. Yes, and it was Joe Orsino.
Joe Orsino.
Joe Orsino, trainer, yeah.
Neil Drysdale trains La Sardane.
Yeah.
So looking forward to seeing her back in action after that win in the Grade 3 Intercontinental. Time now for a Paddock Report. Race 6 here coming up. 7 right now, 5-2.
She is surprised. I mean, she's favored in doubles, a slight favorite in the double over the number 3 horse, Near Conquest Tisfire. You know, Paul, with Posse Needed I thought she ran very well 2 back at Gulfstream when she probably made a premature move and lost a horse that made the last move and got a perfect trip. But last time out, she was decidedly flat and should never have lost second in her last race to Stormy Song, who got completely left. This is the Gulfstream race. She ran tremendous in here. She runs this race, she's going to win.
She wins the race, yeah. She's got a couple races to go through. That race and then the race July 3rd at Belmont.
Don't remind me.
Yeah, because she can come a little bit off the pace. You look at the rest of these runners in here, they all like to sort of go to the front, besides Remark, the 5 in here. But I would think the 2 and the 3 will try to show speed in here. I don't know if they can keep up with the 3 early, but Posse Needed with the blinkers on, now first time with blinkers, should be up on the pace at least.
Let me ask you a question, and I don't particularly have a definitive answer myself, but you take a horse who's favored that's going on a sloppy track like this, for the muddy, it's musty, but a wet track, a legitimate wet track like this the first time. Does that give you cause for pause, especially with a short-priced horse?
Yeah, it does, because there's always that factor of whether she's going to like it or not. Now, they put the blinkers on. Obviously, it worked in the workout report, or at least the workout. There's a bullet drill there. Now, is the horse getting bed at the window? I know the horse wasn't going to get any bed at the window because Mark Hennig stats. He's 0 for 22 first time putting on blinkers. But you know what? There's a first time for everything. That's just this year.
But, yeah, that June 20th work from the 7:48 flat move, best of 28, certainly raises some eyebrows. There's Conquest Tis Fire, though, the 3-horse, current 2-to-1 favorite on the board. Trainer James Lawrence. Coming off back-to-back narrow seconds. Those were on the turf. We'll have this race for you when we come back. Stay tuned.
Make Naira Bets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With Naira Bets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NairaBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. Naira Bets, racing's best play. Bayern turning for home in front. Coast of New York on the outside. California Chrome is third. Shared Belief laboring back there in fifth. 1 furlong to run. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome on the outside. The 3 of them come to the wire. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome. Here's the finish. Bayern holds on.
We're back on this Thursday edition of Belmont Park Live. Thanks for joining us on MSG Plus. And a look at our 9-to-5 favorite here in race 6. Kicks off the late pick 3 sequence. Conquest Tis Fire. A lot of seconds. 4 times second in her 7 career starts. This will be the 2nd time in her career that she gets onto the main track. I'm going to send it down now for a Paddock Report with Maggie Wolfendale. It's brought to you by Hillendale Farm. Now standing Curlin for $150,000.
Greg, thank you. And we'll take a look at your current favorite. That is number 3, Conquest Tis Fire. First time she's ever running on a wet track, and I think people gravitating to her because she does have that speed. She's a bit of an anomaly because she doesn't look like a horse that should be fast. She doesn't act like a horse that should be fast either. She's really laid back, and she's this big, rangy, lumbering type of animal that, yeah, she's not your quintessential speed horse that looks like a quarter horse. I don't know how she's going to handle this track. but there's some pedigree to say that she might be okay on it. And her speed should be useful. And overall here, guys, she probably does look the best of any horse in here. As we'll check in with one that is coming off of a layoff, intended to run on the turf as well, was number 5, Remarked. But I feel as though Bobby Robato going with the 6 furlongs off the bench is probably just giving her a race. Well, she looks svelte, she looks defined. She just needs to come up. That top line needs to come up. It needs to put on the muscle mass, and she should get that with the start here. And I just feel like this is a stepping stone for her, and that's why he's leaving her in here as it is rained off, just to get that start into her. Though I will say she has run okay enough on the main track before. Then number 6, Shimmering Moon, is interesting. It almost feels as though Michelle Nevin entered her in this spot for the turf, thinking that it was going to come off with rain in the forecast, because you go back to her dirt races and they're okay, although they're better on a dry track. That's the main problem with her overall. But I really like her. I like everything she's showing me here. She's showing me she's sharp yet controlled and keen and just well muscled and maintaining her weight well. We'll see if Michelle Nevin can get another winner here on the card. Greg?
All right, Maggie, thank you very much. Yeah, Michelle Nevin winning with Full of Hope back in race number 4. Started off the Naira Bets Late Pick 5 sequence. You can play along for free and test your handicapping skills by playing the Belmont Showdown and get Naira points in your account, which equal money to play along with. Visit naira.com/showdown. Enter your mythical bets in the online contest for the races that are on our show and watch your name climb the leaderboard. We'll update it at the end of our show. Here's a look at Remarked. Manny Franco will be aboard.
Yeah, this is a filly for Mark Keller they go way back. The trainer and the owner here, and by Arch, and she had her first start was over a sloppy racetrack, and you forgive it a little bit. She was really never involved. She actually showed a tiny bit of speed and then backed up. But as she's gotten a little bit older as a 3-year-old, her last race was not bad on the dirt. So for me at 7-1, listen, I know I singled the 7, but the 5 is definitely my second choice. I'm surprised this horse is this price.
Well, she's coming off a layoff, and she probably wants more distance, and she's better on the turf. Having said all those things, Paul, I used 4 horses in this race, and she is one of them. Because I think there's a chance this race could fall apart a little bit, and I don't totally trust Posse Needed. And she ran well enough in her last race in the dirt to suggest she could be competitive here. And I think you have an advantage, because to me, the favorite Conquest Tisfire is getting overbet because of her turf races. And when you're betting these races in the dirt, you're supposed to take advantage of that. I'm not saying she can't win because her one dirt race, Conquest Tisfire, is good enough to give her a chance here. But this is a horse that's taking too much money because of turf races. And I think you want to bet a horse based on dirt form, and at least Remarked has some dirt form.
And the other thing about the 3 is, you know, you're betting a horse at 9-5. The lone win was over a synthetic racetrack.
And her one dirt race, she didn't run that badly going a mile, and she dueled in there and couldn't beat those. But it's still not good enough to beat the horse in here. I could see her winning, but it's a terrible bet at 9-5.
On days like this, where we have limited selections, yeah, you got to try and find some value.
Yeah, yeah.
Post parade coming up to kick off this late pick 3 sequence. Called post behind us. You may hear from Sam the Bugler. We're going to see Dark Tricks first. And it will be Angel Arroyo on board the long shot here for the Bisnath Parbu barn, and had a win on the main track. That was against a low level state bred 25 maiden claiming last out.
Yeah, the lone 3-year-old in here, and maybe she can be a factor early. I don't know if she's going to be a factor late.
15-1 right now. The 3, Conquest Tisfire, still our favorite. Javier Castellano aboard.
Her talent lays on the turf, not necessarily the dirt. Overbet at 9-5.
Main track only runner, Joel Rosario, rides Bowtown Cat for Patrick Reynolds.
You know, this is a horse that does possess a lot of speed. No wins at Belmont, but does have a decent record over wet surfaces.
Remarked, who Paul and Andy were just talking about, making her 4-year-old debut.
If this race falls apart, she has a chance to win it. She can handle the dirt.
John Velasquez, rider change on Shimmering Moon, trained by Michelle Nevin.
I understand this is taken off, but this horse's races on the wet track have not been that good. This is scaring me why this horse is getting bet at 7-2. I know there's scratches, but that's still getting bet after the dirt races.
And here's Posse Needed. Blinkers going on. Daughter of Caleb's Posse for Mark Hennig.
She's a little lukewarm on the board for a horse who overall has the best dirt form in this field.
Yeah, 5-2 right now. On the main track only entrant. as we approach the 5-minute mark to post with more on Posse Needed. Let's go to Maggie.
Greg, thank you. And before we get to Posse Needed here, just want to touch base with Mark about Burning Through Gold, who was a 2-year-old that was on our show yesterday. And he actually, unfortunately, fell after the wire, but everything's A-okay.
It is. I mean, he's got some road rash. I just got a phone message and spoke with Patty Hogan, Dr. Hogan down at Hogan Equine. We sent him down there this morning to just kind of go over him, do a workup on him. He had about a 50-cent piece kind of hole in his knee that from just road rash when he went down, but no explanation for it really. He seemed fine. He x-rayed perfect today when she went over him, and he never took a bad step. So the 5 minutes we had to wait for him to get up was the worst, but I'm just relieved and grateful that he's okay.
Watching it too, it was a couple seconds to your heart and your throat for sure, but turning our attention to Posse Needed now, she's been knocking on the door at this level and adding blinkers today, and it seems as though you found a kind of a sweet spot in that you're an MTO here in a race that is off the turf.
Right, as long as she handles this racetrack. I mean, I had her mother. Her mother won on good racetracks, but I've always wondered how she would handle this kind of track. I've entered her quite a few times, and the race wasn't going. That's why I've ended up going in main track only in here. And the race pretty much has a ton of pace, and she wants to come from a little off of it. First time blinkers today. That's more to kind of, she's always been a bit of a hanger, and we're hoping to, that she'll finish a little better.
All right, so not trying to get any more speed, as hopefully she can run by it.
Hopefully that doesn't work to defeat us today.
Well, Mark, best of luck. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Maggie.
All right, Greg.
Well, here's a look at Posse Needed. And that price has come down a little bit here. Co-favored now at 2-1 for Mark Hennig, but we'll see. Blinkers going on. We talked about that work last time out. You would assume that was with the equipment change, so could be a little bit in the mix earlier than usual today.
I would think so, and getting a strong warm-up. It looked like the 4 and the 5 and the 7 were the 3 that broke away from the pony. The 4 is interesting in here, Bowtown Cat, but the 7, Posse Needed, just gets the best draw. And with the blinkers going on, I would think Irad's going to see what happens inside of him right from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to look to be super aggressive with this horse. I wonder if Mark feels she needs to focus a little more. And there does appear to be some ample pace in the race. Listen, I ended up scratching into her. I liked the 8 originally. I think she is the horse to beat, but this is a confusing race. I think the thing you're supposed to do is bet against the 3 in here. That's the play for me.
Well, what do you do here with Bowtown Cat? Has to have the lead to win, right? Don't you think?
Yes.
I would think so, yeah.
And there's other pace.
Well, yeah, but when you look at this horse breaks from the gate like a rocket. The last 5 times she's been in front at first call, so she is a rocket ship. Now
they're not racing. She's going. She's going to be in front.
She's got to be going.
She
breaks. But is there going to be any? Is there going to be any stick? You know what I mean?
The question, though, also is the other main speed, Shimmering Moon. There's just a real question: what's left in her tank? I mean, I don't know if it's turf. I mean, I think Michelle was giving her another chance in the turf because she's a little bit disgusted with the way she's been running on the turf lately.
Yeah, true.
And if the 6 horse Shimmering Moon isn't able to show her speed from the past, Bowtown Cat could be loose in here.
But Bowtown Cat wins this race because the 3 doesn't go or the 2's not fast enough. If the 2's fast enough, the 2 can wreck the 3 and the 4 very early. But I just don't know if the 2's fast enough, and I don't think that she is. But the 3 is fast enough. But does Castellano want to get in that duel because she's shown the past horses before? She's lightly raced for a 5-year-old, so she's had her issues. This is interesting what they're going to do with the 3, whether they're going to go or not.
Well, I don't know that Conquest Tisfire, the number 3 horse, is necessarily fast enough to run with the 4 horse. And I don't really see them sacrificing her to get involved there. I mean, she is a horse that's shown that she can at least rate off horses and run effectively. And I think it's got to be somewhat of a given that no one, unless they're in a full drive or the 4 gets left, can necessarily run with Bowtown Cat early. She's fast, man.
More on this field. Again, 2 minutes to post here. Check in with Maggie.
Bowtown Cat, as Andy was just mentioning, is a filly who has shown speed. I will say, though, that now as she gets a little bit older, she has definitely chilled out a bit more. Oh, she makes a liar out of me. They always are humbling you, as she looks fairly washed out and a little agitated on the track. But in the paddock, at least, she was a bit more relaxed than what I've seen from her in previous outings. But she looks good, and it seems as though she's gotten some fine tune-ups heading into this race as far as her work pattern is concerned. So we'll see what she does. Kind of like maybe a little bit that she's showing a bit more energy out there, but as I said, she seems a little on the agitated side as I see her out on the track. Moving on to Posse Needed. You know, she's a filly that she's kind of third off of that extended layoff, if you will. And I think now, finally, she's just kind of rounded out. She's put on that muscle mass that she needed to. And like Mark said, we'll see how she handles this going here. I don't see anything preventing her because she is a little bit more of a smaller, handier type of filly where she might be okay skipping over this surface. We'll find out. But as I said, I like her more than what I'd seen from her back on May 4th. Greg?
All right, Maggie, thanks. I'm keeping an eye here on Bowtown Cat here off camera, and horse continuing to kind of throw her head around. You saw that lather along the neck. Not a great sign. No,
not a great sign. But the other part of this is, listen, this is her game. She's a speed horse, and
it's warm out too.
It's warm out, and she's riled up a little bit, and that's probably why she is washed out. She's ready to go, and she's going to go early, and you're going to have to pass her. I just don't know if she can keep on going, you know?
I agree. Her stamina is a serious issue. Yeah, it's a tricky race. Conquest Tisfire, the 3, ran exceptionally well last time because she was chasing a wicked pace to collapse. The horse who set that pace came back and upset a field at 9-1 her next start. And the race completely collapsed, yet Conquest Tisfire held on well. So on the basis of her last race, the 3 Conquest Tisfire ran very well. I just don't know that she's likely to transfer that form from turf to dirt.
Still the 2-1 favorite. As we look here at Dark Tricks, and this is kind of the horse, what do you do with this one? She just won for a very low level. She got the lead getting that win. She's not as quick, you would think, by any means as the 4, so it does not suit up well for her.
I think Dark Tricks is going to have trouble from this race from start to finish.
I'm with you. I just don't know. She's going to struggle. But if she's just fast enough, she could throw a monkey wrench into the 3 and the 4's game. But you know, Andy could be right. She could be just done from the beginning, and the 4 could cross over on her, and the race is over. If she needs to get out of the gate quick and be pushed from the get-go to affect the race.
I don't even know if she's quicker than Shimmering Moon.
I know.
The 2 is not going to be a factor. In my opinion, the 2 won't be a factor. She's in her best position right now. She's in the gate, and the others aren't.
8-5 on Conquest Tisfire, the 3, and there again, the Bowtown Cat. The one who was worked up a little bit and the quickest in this group. She'll try and take him gate to wire if she can. Late pick 3 starts here. We're going to send it upstairs to the voice of horse racing's Triple Crown for the call, Larry Colmus.
2 left to load here. Shimmering Moon and Posse Needed. Shimmering Moon with John Velasquez moving into line here, and Posse Needed. Gerard Ortiz Jr. up to the outside stall. Steps forward and in. They're all in line. Closing up the gates of the inside runner here, Dark Tricks. Set for a start. They're off. And it's Conquest Tisfire out quickly for the lead. Dark Tricks away running in second. Bowtown Cat came out in third. Shimmering Moon is fourth. Then Remarked, and the trailer is Posse Needed. Conquest Tisfire on top by a length and a half, moving for the turn from Bowtown Cat and Dark Tricks. Shimmering Moon is fourth on the outside. And then it's Remarked and Posse Needed together at the rear of the field. First quarter up in 22.4 seconds for front-running Conquest Tisfire, and Javier Castellano as Shimmering Moon is circled up on the outside into second. Dark Tricks is third toward the inside. Posse Needed moves up into fourth. Up alongside of Bowtown Cat, who's now 4 lengths off the lead. Remarked at the back of the pack. Conquest Tisfire coming to the top of the stretch in front. Every step of the way so far here, a 46.1 half mile. Shimmering Moon ranging up alongside. The 2 of them are now right together. Posse Needed is third. Here's Shimmering Moon to the front. Shimmering Moon and John Velasquez have taken the lead here. On the outside comes Posse Needed, making a race of it. Conquest His Fire third on the inside. Posse Needed comes up alongside of Shimmering Moon. Posse Needed getting up to win it. Shimmering Moon second best under the line. Then Conquest His Fire and Remarked in 112.12.
Main track only entrant, Posse Needed at 9-5.
She needed every inch of the stretch to get by, but Irad Ortiz was confident with her. He didn't really worry about the 3 getting clear when Boatown Cat just didn't really get out of the gate or show much speed, but Posse Needed got up to win over Shimmering Moon, second off the layup for Michelle Nevin, who improved.
Yeah, did it the hard way. Had to go like 3 or 4 wide. No excuse for the 3. Great call by you, Andy, because the 3 was phony as can be. You get away with that kind of lead and just get run down by these 2 horses. And the right money was the right money. The 6 ran well here, Shimmering Moon. But the 7, you know, the experience and in good form got the job done, you know what I mean, at 9-5. Ended up being your second choice. The 3 was your favorite.
And she leveled off, and Mark Hennig was rewarded for doing an interview with Mag. He's been doing a lot of interviews lately. It's about time we got him to Winner's Circle.
It just shows you, this, you know, Mark Hennig, 0 for his last 22 putting blinkers on, but he probably put blinkers on horses in way difficult races than this one was.
Exactly.
And Posse Needed she fit in this spot, you know.
9-5. Posse Needed picks up just the second win of her career. Had to eke it out, and there is Mark Hennig.
Gosh, is he a John Daly doppelganger?
Yes, he is. Pick 3 underway with the second choice on the board. We'll be back with prices. Well earned. Trip to the Winner's Circle coming up for that barn. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more in just a minute.
International Super Sire Warfront. Among his 34 stakes horses in 2017 were Grade 1 winners American Patriot, Avenge, Roly Poly, War Flag, and Europe's champion 2-year-old colt, U.S. Navy Flag. Last year, Warfront was the nation's #1 sire in multiple categories. In the sales ring, his yearlings continue to bring prices well over $1 million. Warfront, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Welcome back to Belmont Park Live here in the winner's circle with winning rider of today's 6th race, Irad Ortiz. Posse needed Irad. She's a filly that she likes to come from behind, but today she didn't hang with the addition of those blinkers.
Yeah, I mean, Mark told me that. I never rode him before, but she liked to hang when she come to pass the other horses on the stretch. They put some blinker and that helped a lot. And when I get close to the Chamari Moon, I was ready for it. I was waiting to try to do something to don't let her think and hit a couple times and she just go away. She don't think about it today.
I was gonna say, for not having ridden her before, you seem very confident and very patient with her.
I try to ride confidence on all the horses I ride. My agent do a good job. Just trust those guys. I trust the trainers and ride like that. That's the best way you can ride. I mean, without you go out there with rush or something. I mean, it's way too different. You have to ride confident and calm and give the chance to your horse to give you everything he had.
And that you did, and I'm sure you're going to be doing the same this Saturday, going down to Monmouth for United Nations, riding Krylov. We saw him actually dead heating here a couple weeks ago. Are you excited about riding him?
It's very exciting. I ride for Saul Cumming. It's my friend. He's the owner of the horse, but outside the business, he's my good friend. I mean, I love him. He helped me a lot in my career. I got a lot of success with them. They got good horses, and he gave me the opportunity. And right for Chad Brown, he do a good job with grass horses too. Cody Love, he always show up. Run no good in the soft turf Churchill, so I hope the grass over there help him a little bit. He's doing good. I've been working him, and he's doing so good. I expect a lot of big race from him.
Well, it's kind of, all comes together. You rode Sal Cuman's biggest horse, his first horse, and Lady Eli. I mean, is that where that relationship kind of blossomed?
It started right there, but from there, we get along so good. He helped me, like I told you, every good horse he told me he tried to put me on, and I appreciate that a lot from them. And Brad Wisbrook, he helped me a lot. He's the manager of the horses, and he's my good friend too. They really help me, and they are good friends. I hope they have a lot of success because they buy a lot of horses, and they are good for the business.
That they are, Irad. So are you. Always smiling. Good to see you in the winner's circle. Congrats.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Maggie, thanks. All of these wins are important. He is in a battle right now trying to outduel his younger brother for the meet's leading jockey.
That's true. They always are. They're always competing in
It
everything
seems that
they
way,
do.
doesn't it?
And Posse needed. Congratulations to this filly by Caleb's Posse. I know that was one of Andy's favorite horses. Avian Bridle Mare, Scenic Point. And I guess the drills told you. The blinkers went on. Speed went into this horse. But she finished today.
We're going to take a break in the action. When we come back, I'm going to visit with Mark Cassie Loaded coming up this weekend. He'll send out Road to Victory in the Mother Goose, the only one to have the distinction, beating Kentucky Oaks winner, Monomoy Girl, and Telekinesis in the...
And they're off in New York. The premier state bred program in the United States. When you own a New York bred, your horse can run for more than $44 million in purses restricted to registered New York breds. And the New York program pays awards to breeders, owners, and stallion owners when their New York breds finish first, second, or third at New York tracks. We have the quality. Audible, no doubt about it. You have the opportunity. New York breds, get with the program. The best program.
Hi.
Mark, how's it going?
Very good.
Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Do you agree?
And here comes Got Stormy. Got Stormy hits the front. Bratata's finishing fast with Ferdinanda, but Got Stormy kicks away. Got Stormy kicks it in another gear.
And here comes Got Stormy. Got Stormy hits the front. Brattada's finishing fast with Ferdinanda, but Got Stormy kicks away. Got Stormy kicks it in another gear, opens up 2.5. Late run from Punked on the inside, and then Brattada hits Got Stormy to win it.
Well, that was a win in the Wild Applause from Got Stormy back on June the 23rd for trainer Mark Cassie, who's winning all over the planet at right now. He's got a very busy weekend coming up. Mother Goose, Queen's Plate we'll talk about. Mark, thanks for joining us. We want to start, though, with that victory we just saw right now with Got Stormy in the Wild Applause. Back-to-back wins now. What's next for her?
We're looking at a couple possibilities. One, maybe the Lake George. She may go to Toronto. There's I can't think of the name of it right now, grade 3 there, or possibly Belmont. So, we have like 3 races that we're contemplating on.
She's really gotten good, Mark. I guess the question with her is how far does she want to go, and do you want to try 2 turns at Saratoga or Del Mar?
That is the question. We've kind of felt like a mile. She has one going 2 turns. She won the race at Penn National. So I'm not so worried about the 2 turns. It's just, after a mile, I don't know if she can be as effective. And the Lake George is a mile and the 16th.
Got the Mother Goose coming up this weekend. And a lightly raced filly for you, Road to Victory. She owns a pretty interesting distinction. She beat Monomoy Girl, the only one to have done so in her only start on dirt. Tell us about that performance back in her 2-year-old campaign, and what did you expect out of her in her first try on dirt and just the second start of her career back then?
Well, she had trained exceptionally well. She kind of trains well on everything, but we sent her, after her victory at Woodbine, we sent her down, trained her for a while at Churchill Downs, and she trained exceptionally well. Obviously, we didn't know what we were running into when we ran into Monomoy Girl. And it was quite a battle, and she prevailed in just the last couple jumps.
Mark, I'm curious what your thinking was in general, because you ran her in the turf in her first start, and then she won in the dirt. You decided to use turf and a turf sprint as her prep for her first start as a 3-year-old.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. She had a minor injury after she won the Goldenrod, and so I started getting her ready. And, of course, we wanted to get her ready for the Oaks. And then when it became apparent that wasn't going to happen, then I started thinking about trying to get ready for the Acorn. And I could see that the Acorn was going to come up extremely tough. So I said, well, let's change directions. Let's aim for the Mother Goose. And what is the best way for me to get to the Mother Goose, where I could get a prep into her, wouldn't have to train her for her to be 100%. And she'd already had success on the Woodbine turf course, which we know can sometimes be difficult. But so I thought, well, there you go, straight 3-year-old fillies. I can have her about 80%, and she should be able to still get the job done. I didn't realize, she had kind of a rough trip, from the inside. And at the top of the lane, I was very concerned she was even going to get there because I knew she was going to be a little short. So, but I planned this 3 months ago. I said, well, so when we knew we were going to make the Acorn, or maybe 2.5 months ago, I said, let's make it to the Mother Goose. And so here we are.
And what about Geogame, Mark? A horse that's really has not run a bad race. She's been very, very consistent. And you talk about Monomoy Girl, she wasn't that far behind her last time.
No, there's a filly we've always obviously thought a lot of her, Paul. We sent her the Breeders' Cup, and that, everybody knows that was a funny racetrack. She just didn't run a lick that day. We brought her home, kind of regrouped, and she's come back, and you know what? Every race seems to be a little stronger. I thought her race in the Acorn was good. But more importantly, she came back and trained really well. More than likely, though, I entered both fillies. Both fillies, one is owned by Mr. Oxley, and then he owns half of Road to Victory. And we really don't want to run the two fillies together. So I thought, well, we'll enter them both. More likely it's going to be Road to Victory that's going to run on Saturday. And then whoever I don't run will go to the Delaware Oaks the following week. Right now, I would say that would be Geogame.
Well, you got the Mother Goose this weekend. You also have a race. We're going to show both of these on our air this weekend as well. The Queen's Plate, the first leg of the Canadian Triple Crown. And Telekinesis, part of a trio of horses where it looks like you have a pretty strong hand. How do you feel about Telekinesis, a son of Ghost Zapper, who's had pretty good success in this race, two of the last three winners of the Queen's Plate, offspring of Ghost Zapper?
Yeah, Ghost Zapper's had tremendous success over the Tapeta and the Queen's Plate. This is an extremely talented horse. Unfortunately, he's a little late getting on the scene. Didn't get started till early spring, I guess, or early winter. He's ran well. I thought his last race was good. I think he was a little confused. I think at the half-mile pole, he thought the race was over, and it looked like he may get beaten on once he kind of figured it out, took off again. He looks good. It's a question of the mile and a quarter. It shouldn't be a problem. I know Wonder Godot's going to love the mile and a quarter, and I think my other horse could be a little bit of a sleeper, Nepawa. I know, he's by Scat Daddy, and a mile and a quarter is definitely going to be to his liking as well.
Mark, I was going to hit on Wonder Godot, and I was going to ask you, what kind of filly has she been, a 3-year-old filly in your barn? She's got to be, she's like an ATM machine. She has danced every dance. She ran a great second in the Kentucky Oaks, and then boom, she runs a great race in the Woodbine Oaks. Are you worried a little bit that she's had a lot on her plate and Telekinesis has been a little bit more lightly raced? Or you think she can handle this?
You know what, Paul? She thrives on it. She does. She's truly Wonder Woman. You know us. I like running them. If they're doing well, I will run them. I go back 25, 30 years ago where I got to spend some time with Alan Jerkins, and he would always tell me, he said, I don't understand horse trainers. They always want to give them a rest when they're running good, rest them when they run bad. And so I kind of go by that theory, and she continues to thrive and do well. She's a big, robust filly. She probably will be the biggest horse in the race, filly or colt.
It's interesting, Mark, you brought up Nepawa and said that he could be sort of a dark horse of the three. He feels like a horse that last time was compromised by a race. There was one in the front end, and he may really like the mile and a quarter.
Yeah, there was lack of pace, and there's going to be plenty of pace in the Queen's Plate. Going to be plenty of pace. More importantly, you know what? This is similar to the Kentucky Derby. A lot of times, it's not what you did 3 months ago; it's how you're training right now. Now, obviously, you have to have the ability, but it's the horse. It's the now horse. And you know what? Nepawa right now is the now horse. He's training as good as any of the three of our horses. And I just think he's been an underachiever, and I keep waiting for him one day to break out. And it wouldn't shock me if it happened on Saturday. I told Florent when we gave him the mount, I said, I want you to come ride this horse. And I said, don't be shocked if you win the Queen's Plate.
My last question to you will be, Mark, is Telekinesis. Is he still trying to figure things out? That June 1st work at Woodbine over the synthetic is too good to be true. When he came off the racetrack that day, did you get any calls that, wow, this horse could be your plate trial winner and has a shot to be the Queen's Plate winner?
I'm not trying to pat myself on the back here, but this horse has been pretty special from the time we got him. I can remember telling Barbara, last year, I said, you're going to win the Queen's Plate. I said, we have the Queen's Plate winner. So, he is always, we have a fair amount of good young horses. And at one time, I don't know if you know, but one of my main assistants, David Carroll, who's been around for a long time, just a great horseman. He just kept raving about this horse, and we always thought he was top of the class. So it's not a real surprise. It's just been, a bit of a challenge. He didn't help himself. We had him ready to run in about January, and he went over the paddock, got upset, and he reared up and slipped over, and he didn't hurt himself, but he's an automatic scratch. And then we had to wait another month, to get a race into him. So that kind of set me back. If not, he could have been possibly a Derby contender type horse. If you look at his numbers early on the dirt, his numbers are good as pretty well any 3-year-old in North America.
Now, that is a pretty terrific trio of runners you have going in that first leg of the Canadian Triple Crown. And with Wonder Godot, obviously, that's a nice team. You teamed up to win with Gary Barber, with another filly, Lexi Liu, back in 2014. It would be the eventual Canadian Horse of the Year. We wish you all the best of luck in that race coming up this weekend. We're certainly going to be keeping our eyes on both of those, having both those races on our show. We want to ask you, too, before we let you go, this game is so tough, so many terrific trainers out there, and now you have some new competition with your son, Norm, part of the mix as well. And we saw him win with a first-time starter here at Belmont. How's that been to see him have some success now?
Well, you know what? That's Norman going and being successful would be my greatest accomplishment, I guess. He's already laid it to me once. He beat us. Well, we didn't hit the board. He won with the first-time starter at Churchill last week, too. So, you know what? It's not a matter if Norman's going to be successful. He is, I just got to try to, hang on as long as I can.
I know you're a proud father, Norm. Excuse me, I'm calling you Norm, Mark, and then we'll let you go. Let's talk about world approval. He's been such a stalwart in your barn, has not run well the last couple times. What's his status right now? Because I think a lot of his fans, his own fans, because he created his own fans, want to know.
Yeah, you know what, Paul? He's been a little frustrating. I mean, frustrating, yes, and I guess no. He's done so much for us. You got to remember, when we got him, he was a maiden and started a couple times, hadn't hit the board. So he's done so much for us, and we know him so well. We just don't know. I don't know what to make of him. He trains good. I thought, he's got the same team. He has the same exercise rider he's had for years, and he says he's better than ever. I mean, he just seems that way, but he hasn't really shown it this year. Even when you look back at his first race, where he won at Tampa when we were contemplating on going to Dubai, I just wasn't satisfied with that race. And, in fact, the horse that he barely beat at Belmont has come back and not done anything. So I don't have a good answer for you. I can tell you that right now he's happy. He's sound. We're going to take him to Saratoga and see. I said to Johnny after his last race, I said, maybe it's time to look for, lesser goals or maybe think about even retirement. And he said, oh, no. He insisted. He said he did not handle the track at all that night. Now, I don't want to keep making excuses for him. So, but we're going to take him to Saratoga. We're going to train him. We're going to aim for the 4-star, Dave. If he trains well and we feel that he's got a shot, we'll run him. If not, we're just going to have to see how it plays out. But he doesn't owe us anything. And if whatever we decide, Mrs. Weber she's a true horse woman, and she'll always want to do what's best for the horse. So he may, ultimately he's going to spend his days in the grass at Live Oak and Ocala.
All right, well, Mark, we appreciate it. Charlotte Weber, of course, Live Oak Plantation, owns World Approval, and we saw that in this 4-star day of last year. What a run that began for the horse who would go on to win the Breeders' Cup Mile. Mark Casse, thank you so much for coming on. Best of luck this weekend in both the Mother Goose and the Queen's Play. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Bye, guys.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Loaded with talented runners, and he's got 3 real good ones coming up in the Queen's Plate. And, of course, a couple of horses, or one we should see here anyway, Road to Victory in the Mother Goose. We've got a post parade coming up here for race 7. 8 minutes to post here. As we take a look at the field, Cozy Spring right now 7-5 favorite here in the 6-furlong sprint.
Yeah, I mean, Cozy Spring, I think the question with her is whether or not she can come back and run her best race on relatively short rest.
Yeah, that is the key, right? I mean, good races after good races. I mean, she is in phenomenal form, but the 2 fillies in the inside of her are as well, the 4 and the 5.
Here's Clairvoyant Lady to kick off our post parade. Speed inside, coming off a victory for $25,000. They could take it a big jump up here.
Off the claim for the Toscanos, she may be biting off more than she can chew in this spot.
7-1. Manny Franco will ride. Here's a 3 Play Unified for trainer George Weaver.
If there's a fly in the ointment, it could be Play Unified, who's a little better in her last race, suggests second off a layoff for Weaver.
Queen Layla, we talked about her at the top of the show, second off the claim for David Jacobson.
Yeah, she ran a giant race off the claim at Santa Anita. Now she's going to run it here for Drawing Away stable. Joelle Rosario will be in the irons.
Great reviews. She's won 3 of her last 4 for owner Jack Hammer and trained by Belmont.
When you're running allowance races and you win, you have to step up off those wins. She's meeting tougher company.
And Cozy Spring for the Charlie Baker barn just ran second in a stakes race, beat by Pico Uno.
She's fast, and she likes to win races. 4 for 10 lifetime, and she's 3 for 8 over this trip with 3 second-place finishes.
Send it downstairs now to Maggie Wolfendale. Paddock Report brought to you by Hillendale Farm. Now standing Byron for $25,000.
Greg, this might have to be the winner's circle report as we're looking at horses out on the track now. And I want to check in with number 4, Queen Layla, who will be making her first start here in New York for David Jacobson. And she ran well. You know, she kind of made a premature move and just got worn down late. So she, to me, looks fantastic here. I mean, you can usually tell with these David Jacobson horses that come from California, they tend to wear their kind of form on their sleeve, if you will. And she's athletic, she's got a great coat to her, and she just looks fit and really classes up very nicely, at least physically, with the rest of the horses here, if not, you know, better than them. So we'll see. She is wearing those front bandages once again here for the 3rd consecutive time. Moving on to number 5, Great Reviews. Well, the only track that she's been on when it has had moisture in it, she bled that time. Now, whether that was something that was just going to come on with her, or sometimes when horses struggle over surface that they don't necessarily like or get hit with a lot of kickback, that can lead to them bleeding. So I'm a little bit hesitant to automatically recommend Great Reviews here. She does look good overall. I can't really fault her, but I'm a little bit suspect about this track condition for her, Greg.
5-2 on the board on Great Reviews. Favorite those. Cozy Spring outside the 6th horse as we take a look at Play Unified here. One of the long shots in the field for trainer George Weaver. We're going to take a break in the action. Race 7, 6 furlongs over this muddy going on this Thursday afternoon. Here is next on Belmont Park Live.
His record-breaking accomplishments on the racetrack paved his way here to the Stall of Legends. Now retired to stud, we welcome the dawning of a new era as this esteemed champion hopes to stake his claim to immortality. His blazing speed and striking good looks have been passed down to his remarkable first foals. Foals that will carry the flag of their famous father and one day hope to break records of their own. Medication-free and undefeated in sprint competition. Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Make Naira Bets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With Naira Bets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NairaBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. Get a $200 new member sign-up bonus on NairaBets.com.
Back on Belmont Park Live, our show brought to you each and every day with a champion sprinter. Run happy now in legendary Stall 1 at Claiborne Farm in Paris, Kentucky. Undefeated as a sprinter over the course of his career. all while running without the use of Lasix medication. Set a track record in the Breeders' Cup Sprint at Keeneland. What a campaign that was in 2015, where he was named champion sprinter.
I agree. He was tremendous.
I can't wait to see his runners, what they're going to be like. He's going to get some freaky type horses. You know what I mean?
Going to be fun to see him on the racetrack. So we get set for race 7 coming up next. And there is a look at Cozy Spring for trainer Charlie Baker. He tried her in Stakes Company last time out, New York bred Dancing Renee, where she wound up a distant second to Pico Uno in her second start of her 4-year-old campaign.
Nobody was beating Pico Uno that day,
No,
but
you're right.
the name of her game is speed, and her advantage in that race was theoretically that she could get in front of the field. Well, she broke about a half-length slow. Once you break a little slow and your advantage is the speed, you've ceded that advantage. And I think she ran very well to hold on for second over the heavy favorite Holiday Disguise. But, Paul, how worried are you that she's coming back in 12 days? Can she deliver her top performance off short rest?
Well, that's the key in here, is it right? I mean, she's run second. And like you said, it was a giant effort. You look at her PPs, she's only been favored one time. She won the race that she was favored that day. The other time, she's always been around like second or third choice.
Is she going to clear here?
Sign of confidence by the trainer, right?
Well, she ran second to Les Mimi 2 back. Les Mimi got sort of left in the gate and ran on, and I thought ran okay today. She gets that, no pun intended, a cozy outside post.
Well, she's going to be favored in a 5-horse field for $80,000. You got a runner. Now, we all, well
there goes
Queen Layla has no chance because Paul, Maggie, and I all picked her in here. I do kind of like her as the now horse. I think the question with Queen Layla, it's interesting. She seems to have shown speed out in California lately, and they go fast out in California. Overall, she hasn't been as fast as some of these early. How much speed is she going to show first time in the East Coast and first time here for David Jacobson?
Well, that's a good point. If you look at her races, Simon Callahan is a very good trainer. We already know that. He put blinkers on her in her third start. It automatically sped her up. And then he tried to relax her a little bit. And
best racer forwardly placed, right?
Yeah, they are. But I think she can rate, too. It's an interesting way how this is going to play out. Whether the 4 gets to the top in here, whether the 6 tries to go to the top, whether the 1 goes.
Cozy Spring has one way to go. I mean, she has never rated before. Now, she draws a nice outside post if she's forced to stalk. But, man, you got to think with Cozy Spring that she's just going.
No, it's true. And then when you get to the 5, those last 2 races have been both impressive.
Yeah, she's meeting tougher.
I know she is.
I don't, you look at we saw 2 horses that came out of great reviews last race running the race on Sunday that Perfect Miss won, and they were no factor whatsoever.
Okay.
I think this is a real step up for her.
Okay.
Not that she's impossible, but I think it's a step up.
Yeah, I would agree. Pace is going to be interesting to see, though, in here. Yeah, how does that California speed translate here? Because as Andy said, we know that 6 horse. There she is, Cozy Spring. She wants to go, but obviously California speed can be
you're right.
very, very quick.
Cozy Spring has 4 wins. They're all gate to wire. That's his bottom line. Andy's right. Bottom line, she needs the front end. And it's going to be between the 4, maybe the 1. I don't know if the 1's quick enough.
Even Play Unified. The 3 isn't that slow. It's an
3's not
interesting
slow
chess
either.
match coming up here.
It is. But if you're Dylan Davis, you got to get to the front.
Favorite? Queen Layla, the 4 horse at 8-5 on the board. Second off the claim for David Jacobson. Just missed at this level last start. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of New York Racing for the call. Here's Larry Colmus.
They're all in line. They're off. And it's Play Unified who goes out to the early lead. From Clairvoyant Lady, Queen Layla did not have the best of starts, but is up running in second now. Then it's Great Reviews and Cozy Spring on the outside, and now Clairvoyant Lady is last, as Queen Layla makes her way up alongside of Play Unified. Queen Layla now pokes a neck in front. Took her a while to get to the front end here and ran the first quarter in 22.22 seconds, a taxing first fraction. Play Unified second on the inside. Great Reviews is third, Cozy Spring 3 wide, fourth on the far turn, and Clairvoyant Lady. It is Queen Layla and Joel Rosario opening up on them now. They've got a 3-length lead on Great Reviews and Play Unified. Cozy Spring hasn't made a move yet, still about 6 lengths behind. Then Clairvoyant Lady, 45.5 They're into the stretch. Queen Layla with a 2-length lead here on Great Reviews, who's closing in on the outside while Play Unified makes progress along the rail. Queen Layla still to catch. Play Unified's running at her from the inside. Great Reviews did not go on. It's down to Queen Layla and Play Unified. Play Unified's coming up the rail, and she's got her. Play Unified ran down Queen Layla. Clairvoyant Lady got up for third. Cozy Spring was fourth in 111.87.
It's Play Unified, and the mare who loved the off track picks up her third win on the off going.
And it really seems like a race where 2 horses handled the track and 3 horses didn't, because the other horses just couldn't get their legs under them. And maybe the 4 getting left a little bit, Queen Layla compromised her chances, because the 3 Play Unified, she broke like a shot, and she was able to come back and gamely get the win.
Yeah, you could see Joel Rosario continuing to point his horse at the 3 to try to get her to compete, but the 3 just had too much momentum, and yeah, the start cost
I don't
her.
know if the 4 got over the track all that well. I know she ran second in here, but did it look like it?
I think she tired, you know, getting left a little bit and then rushing up into that pace, which was pretty quick. I mean, compared to the pace of the last race, they were moving, and maybe she didn't handle it that well, but the break really hurt her. But give Play Unified credit. She broke sharply. She showed that speed. The 4 went and took it away from her. She chased her the whole way, and she was able to outgame her at a big price.
Biggest price on the board, in fact, at 10-1. Play Unified, 5-year-old mare by exchange rate, picks up the 5th win of her career. Again, 3 of those victories have come now on off tracks. 3, 4, 1, 6 finish. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with prices right after this.
Make Naira Bets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With Naira Bets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NairaBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. Get a $200 new member sign-up bonus on NairaBets.com.
This 3-time graded stakes winning millionaire defeated 20 Grade 1 winners. In the Dixie Stakes, he defeated Canadian champion and horse of the year Up With the Birds and set a new course record at Saratoga. Runner-up in the Grade 1 Manhattan and Shadwell Turf Mile, Ironicus ran 7 triple-digit buyers, including this score in the Fort Marcy Stakes. Half to 4 graded stakes winners, Ironicus has the speed, class, and bloodlines to become the next great sire by Distorted Humor. Ironicus at Clayton Farm.
Welcome back to Belmont Park Live. We are in the winner's circle. Always nice to be joined by the one and only Blair Golan, assistant trainer to George Weaver. And Blair, Play Unified, a filly who really relishes this wet going.
Yes, she's always liked this track, probably one of the few that does, because it's dried out quite a bit and it's quite hard. So, but exchange rate and that Carson City in the back really appreciates a track like this.
That is the truth. And also, this filly ran so fast, she ran out of both of her hind shoes here, Blair.
It happens.
But I also noticed you have a bit of an interesting equipment on her hind legs. So hopefully they can grab a shot of this. But she has obviously bandages on. She has the rundown straps and something else that you created yourself.
I just cut bell boots in half because she steps on herself, and the felt patches always come off no matter how much glue you put on them. But when I used to do show jumpers, I had one of my jumpers used to step on himself all the time. So we did that with him, and one day I was flipping through a bunch of my old pictures, and I was like, oh. So I started putting them on her and another horse that we have, and it keeps them from stepping on themselves. It just keeps them from hitting that coronet band.
And she was A-okay. She looked great, and congratulations here, Blair. Job well done.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, guys.
Play Unified, $22 for the win. Again, third win now coming on and off track. Wins for George Weaver, Bonaventure Stables, and Luis Saez aboard for the winning ride. 3-4-1 finish. One more race to come on this 8-race card on this Thursday afternoon, but we are treated to a very special guest joining us on set right now. Trainer Jimmy Toner. I looked it up and didn't realize you took your trainer's license out back when you were just 19 years old, all the way back in 1960. Been doing this for a little while.
A few years ago.
You have a really
Before
nice...
Andy was born.
Barely.
You got a player right now in the 3-year-old turf division. We're going to start off talking about Hawkish, who was brilliant in the Grade 2 Penn Mile last time out. How excited are you about his progression and going forward with him?
Well, he's been an exciting horse to be around. He's trained very well. He's got a lot of natural ability. He's still learning what to do. I mean, he has his habits when he runs, duck in or duck out, so which is fine because he's running good, so we hope we don't change him too much. But he's an exciting horse to be around.
How concerned are you with the mile and a quarter? Obviously, the Belmont Derby of $1.2 million, and getting the mile and a quarter is a real question for him.
Well, I think the whole thing is if we're ever going to find out, this is the time to find out. You know, for $1.2 million, if he can go mile and a quarter. But I think this will determine what direction this horse goes for the rest of the year. If he can handle a mile and a quarter, he goes to the Secretariat. Right. He follows that program. If he can't, then we just drop back and we come up with another program for him.
Well, it is exciting. It's just rare to see you with a good colt. I mean, it seems like most of the time it's fillies and mares that you're doing so well with. Flying Chevron was
He's not a colt either.
He's a gelding. Oh, well, that's good. He'll be running for a while. That's fine. That's all right.
Yeah, you finally get a couple of nice male horses. They're both gelding. Manitoulin as well.
Yes.
A 5-year-old gelding who ran too good to lose, unfortunately, in the Grade 1 Manhattan. Had some issues at the start of that race as well. And this is a look at Hawkish working with Manitoulin. Talk to us about that Manhattan, that performance of his at 30-1.
I'd rather have Andy.
I'll handle it for Jimmy. Painful? He wasn't thrilled with the ride.
Don't say that. Mike will never talk to me again.
Listen, I'd be happy to talk to Mike about it. I think in retrospect, Mike might agree.
Okay.
He's probably given better rides than that in his life.
I'm sure he has.
In all defense, he had some other things on his mind.
Mike or the horse?
That day. Mike.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. That in backside, he was thinking about the, Triple Crown.
He really did run great. In the Manhattan. 4 wide on the pace the whole way and fighting at the finish.
Yeah, no, he hung in there really well. I really thrilled to death with the way he ran. And actually, I think the first turn, he got carried out, floated out wide in the first turn. And after that, he was just wide all the way. Had he been able to tuck in there, save some ground, I think we'd have been in good shape.
No, I agree. And obviously, I assume that you're hoping you can get the mile and a half in the Sword Dancer for $1 million on Travers Day in Saratoga.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go in the Bowling Green one first, give that a try, and then Mike will be back to ride him. And
really?
I was wondering why he would come back to ride him, and I realized the Haskells the next day.
I think he owes you one. Well, you won it last year with Hunter O'Reilly, and you were shocked after the race in the winner's circle.
Cost me a golf cart, actually.
Really? Is there a good story there?
Yes.
Well, obviously, you're so well known for your longtime association with Darby Dan Farm, the Phillips Racing Partnership, and one of the great ones, of course, Soaring Softly won the inaugural, I should say, Breeders' Cup Filly in Mare Turf back in 1999. This horse actually started on the dirt and didn't even get onto the turf until her 4-year-old campaign.
Well, I think the whole thing is we always try to get like our horses. You say, oh, well, try to get started with the dirt to see if we can see if I can develop a dirt horse, which I very rarely can.
Flying Chevron was pretty good.
He was a pretty nice
the
horse.
mile.
A little bit on the crazy side, but he was a nice horse, yeah. So, but we decided after I had her down at Payson Park, and we worked her down there on the grass down there, and she was an eye opener right away. So then she did win at Gulfstream. We went from Gulfstream to Garden State, no, to Keeneland to Garden State. And it's one of the few times that you ever, at the beginning of the year, John and I sat down and laid out a program for her. And everything went perfect, except the race at Saratoga where she got beat. And that was the Diana. And at that time, the Diana was run late in the meet. And that year they had a drought, and we had no, it was just a rough turf course to run over. And she didn't handle it at all. And we brought her back here to run on the Flower Bowl. And, of course, that might have been what Mike was thinking about, because I took him off of the swings off me after that.
Took a long time to get even.
He did.
19 years, a long time to wait. So we got a lot of time in this game.
Okay, it's okay.
Well, luckily you had some success in the Diana with some other ones. Of course, Memories of Silver. Amira came along at a very important time for the family, and I know Jody Phillips, this horse was very, very important to her.
Yeah, she was an amazing filly. I think one of the most amazing races I've ever seen a horse run was when she ran in the Lake George as a 3-year-old, and she was behind horses, and Jerry put her head right in between, right on the horse's rear end, and he split the horses, and she just went right through. She was an incredible filly, and a lot of heart, a lot of personality about her. Just really a neat filly to be around. I'm really proud to be associated with her. She was just a great filly.
Grade 1 winner, Grade 1 producer as well, because 14 years later, she would produce a Grade 1 Diana winner as well. And I know Jody Phillips, she always dreamed of having
a gray
who would run in the colors of Phillips Racing Partnership.
Yes.
And the dream came true, but unfortunately, she wasn't around to see it happen. But really important for the family.
Yeah, it was. She pulled the whole family together at the time when they were going, some issues with Jody's health and everything. And but another exciting mare to be around. I guess my 2 favorite horses of all time would be Memories of Silver and Winter Memories. And Winter Memories had such a presence about her that she was just an incredible horse. And I guess I'd always think that she should have been undefeated. I think the time she got beat, I sort of blame myself about that. But she should have been undefeated. But she was a wonderful mare,
She became really a huge fan favorite.
Yes.
Yeah.
As well, and just the way that she won her races from coming from so far back.
Right. Yeah. She won the Garden City here, which was an incredible ride by Javier Castellano, and she was stuck between a wall of horses, and he kept like trying to find a seam to go, and he couldn't. And finally, he decided, wait a minute, let me just whip her to the outside, and in a blink of an eye, she won, and he was eased up. It was an incredible run, It's
incredible the number of these fillies and mares you've had. I mean, Time and Motion, obviously, recently, but so many of them going back. Wonder Again, and remember, she won the Diana.
Right.
And I think that was the first turf race they ran at Saratoga that year because it had rained so much, and she beat Intercontinental, I believe.
Yes, she did, yeah. In fact, it rained that day.
Right.
When you couldn't see, they broke from the gate, and you couldn't see the rest of the race until they turned into the stretch. And she loved that ground when it was soft like that and was raining. So, I mean, she was a top flight mare. You say Time in Motion lately, so we've been fortunate to have some really good top mares for the Phillips family.
You've been in this game post so long. We mentioned when you started, and obviously over time, I guess the way horses win, the way they run, change, and where you pick out spots for them and things like that. We just saw a horse who'd never raced as a 2-year-old win the Triple Crown. But have you seen your philosophy continue to evolve over the last few years?
I think so. Yeah, I think. Probably been a little bit easier on them, try to keep them going longer and further. And I've had to change my way of doing things. I think everybody does when you start out, you have an idea what you want to do. And of course, nobody starts out with these kind of horses either.
Right.
The trial and error of going through a lot of claimers or this or that or the other thing. And then you finally develop a style that you're comfortable with. And I think the thing is to make horses comfortable and happy. And that's what I tried to do.
Well, on our show tomorrow, we're going to have another one of your horses in action that we'll get to see, Mamanu.
Yes.
Who has turned into a pretty nice horse for you. How much upside do you think is there with this horse?
Well, I think it remains to be seen yet. We'll find out tomorrow. She's I'm trying to get her to come along gradually. initially thought about maybe running her last week in the mile filly race, but I think a mile's a stretch for her. I think 7/8 last time she ran was a good race for her. She showed, how tough she is and courageous by hanging in the way she did. But I think on a mile might be pressing her too much, and I don't want to do that with her. I rather try to keep her short, and I think she can develop into a top flight turf sprinter filly.
She's facing some tough older horses in that race.
Yes,
I assume the Coronation Cup at Saratoga for
yeah, that's
three-year-olds?
exactly. Was it a question of waiting for that, or just trying to run her like again tomorrow and then come back in a month's time, and then we'll give her a little break after that.
Being a rematch in that race with
Yes.
with Okinawa, who had beat her a couple of starts back, who's a speedster in that, so it's going to be fun to see those two go at each other again.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see who tops who coming out of there and how the race sets up and develops.
We appreciate you coming on. So many great runners that we've had a chance to kind of catch up with, and looking forward to that race tomorrow.
Right.
Future with Hawkish.
Yes.
You have, it sounds like an exciting summer ahead.
Yeah, so far it's been good. Hopefully it just keeps going.
We hope so.
Yeah.
Rooting for Manitoulin to get a good
Yes. We won't get 30-1 next time, though.
No, you won't.
Great Jimmy Toner. So many great runners, and that long relationship, of course, with Darby Dam Farm. Looking forward to seeing Hawkish. Of course, Mamanu, we will see in action, 3-year-old filly in tomorrow's 8th race. That will be part of our broadcast here on Belmont Park Live tomorrow afternoon. Jimmy Toner, thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
We're going to take a quick break. We will be back with more coming up. Our nightcap on this Thursday afternoon ahead when we return.
Switches back to the outside. Exaggerator down to the 16th pole, but Exaggerator has turned the tables. He has won the Preakness. Phoenix has won the Travers over American Flag. Irish War Cry has won the Wood Memorial. Alice. Good Magic's gonna win his first race, and he's gonna do it in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
I am Rajiv Maharaj.
Irish War Cry has won the Wood Memorial under Rajiv Maharaj.
I am a jockey. You have to love it, because being a jockey, unlike a lot of people say it's a career and stuff, I don't think of it like that. Being a jockey is a lifestyle. It's not just when you're at the track riding, it's just everything around it. You have to sleep like a jockey, you have to eat like a jockey, you have to live like a jockey. And you have to really love it and embrace it to enjoy it. Barring the injuries, I've loved my career as a jockey. There were a lot of dark days, not only about questioning would I be able to ride again, but would I ever be pain-free in my life. The only thing that was positive that I could think about was that one day, and I didn't know when, but one day I'll be able to ride again.
Tizell now up to take the lead in mid-stretch. It's Tizell under a hand ride from Rajiv Maharaj, pulling away impressively here.
I'm definitely more living in the moment after the latest injury, because when you get all that taken away from you, you start to respect some stuff that you probably subconsciously took for granted before, that I probably took for granted. Like, now I have to take advantage of every race that I ride. Kellispati was my only Breeders' Cup mount that day. The day before, I had some really good chances to win, and I finished third and twice and fourth. And I was pretty down going into that race. I was like, oh, can't believe I didn't win a race, and I got to wait another year.
He looks like he's just jumped in at the quarter pole, and Caleb's posse strides right on by, and he's going to romp in the dirt mile.
A phenomenal feeling that I couldn't describe. I think a lot of it was more of a relief, though, because I finally got my Breeders' Cup win that I always dreamed about.
Groupie Doll in a sensational victory in the filly and mare sprint, never gave them a chance.
Groupie Doll provided a lot of great memories for me and my family. Obviously, Breeders' Cup was always my dream to win Breeders' Cup races, and just to do it with my family around, and also with the connections of Groupie Doll. Buff Bradley, his dad, his partners, they were all great people. They're all supportive of me. We felt like a real big team. Just added it. It's a lot more fun when you're winning with friends. I know reggae is my genre. I like to play poker, and I also like to just hang out, invite family and friends over to my house and just have a little barbecue and just listen to some good reggae music, and that's pretty much my life in a nutshell.
As good a person as you will meet in this game, Rajiv Mirage. Great to see him back and having success. He's going to be on board a long shot coming up in this next race as we take a look at the field for this race. Taken off the turf, 75,000 maiden claiming event. 1 mile now on the main track. Free Kitty, the 7, 9-5 favorite. Right next door, Rajiv Mirage. He'll be on board the horse we're looking at right now, a daughter of Tiz Now.
I'm surprised the 7 is your favorite at 9-5. I get it. The horse had the most races, and this filly has run well over wet tracks.
Sending it down to Maggie Wolfendale now for a Paddock Report. It's brought to you by Hillendale Farm. Now standing Curlin for $150,000.
Well, we just see jogs coming out here, guys, as they'll get up in the stalls as the rain has come back for another appearance here on this card. And we'll take a look at number 2, Equal Rights. Several of these horses have yet to race on the main track, and she is one of them, a daughter of Violence. And the family was actually very good over the main track, and you see that the dam sire is Exchange Rate, and we just saw that kind of bloodline with Play Unified on top with Exchange Rate relish this going. So there's every chance that she could like it. Physically, I don't necessarily see it. She does have more of that turf hoof. She kind of has those white feet that maybe a little bit compromised sometimes, and sometimes those horses that have those somewhat weaker type of hoof don't like this surface that's going to sting them a bit when they run over it. So we'll see what she does. I don't mind her, but she's going out for Chad Brown, and there's enough pedigree to suggest she'll handle it. But like I said, it's just an unknown with her, and I'm not full throttle and trusting her. Number 3 is Super Committee for trainer Rick Violet. She looks great as well, but this one, although she is by the factor and they seem to handle a track with some moisture in it, much more of a turf pedigree on the bottom side. She's another one that looks it as well, more of a flatter turf hoof to her, and she's a bigger, heavier filly, so we'll see how she negotiates this off track. Number 5, Love Mo, is very interesting to me. 2-1 right now, and only one of 2 horses not covered in the pick 6, as she does come off a layoff. First time out for Ralph Nex, who is not very good in these situations, but this filly is the one who has taken my eye. She comes back here fit. She is showing good energy to me. She looks like a filly that'll handle this going, being by Uncle Mo. The dam was cheap, but she was okay, at least over the dirt, and I just like everything she's showing me here. We'll see what she does here with Junior Alvarado aboard. Greg?
Maggie, thank you. And there's a look at Rajiv Mirage in those green and white silks. Again, he'll be aboard a 14-1 long shot coming up for John Toscano Jr. off the claim.
Yeah, that one looks to be in, probably tough. It doesn't really seem to be much pedigree for dirt, but the truth is, this race is a total crapshoot. Free Kitty, the 7, is the only one that has any dirt form whatsoever, and she may win because of that, but she sure has her share of chances. I guessed with the one Maggie was talking about early, Equal Rights, because that one does have the best dirt pedigree.
Yeah, the 7 has a lot of hang in her. I mean, she might win this race because the other don't take to the mud or to the off track. 5's got a pedigree to like it. There's a couple in here to like it that can move up. The 7, listen, I landed on the 7 and 9 to 5 just because of what Andy said. She has the best dirt form, but she could be had in here. She doesn't really love to win races, obviously, with the 6 seconds.
I wouldn't be shocked by any result.
Yeah,
in this
true,
race.
true.
The 8 looks to be a bit of a long shot, but after that, I wouldn't be shocked by anybody.
Here's a look at Free Kitty in action.
Yeah. This is her running second, actually, at 4-1, 9-2. She actually ran okay in this race. It was her prior race when she lost at 1-2 that kind of scared me a little bit.
Yeah, that scares you. And listen, the horse...
Against 20 maiden claiming, by
that's
the way.
what scares you, exactly.
For Danny Gargan.
For Danny Gargan, for a very good trainer. So it seems like she just steps up to the competition, whether it's maiden special weight 70 or 20, and it seems like she runs second or third, you know?
Get signed up, started, play along, go to NYRABets.com, and $200 new member sign-up bonus. Use the promo code LIVE to take advantage. Again, at NYRABets.com, you can play this nightcap we have coming up as we get a look here at Rubelite, David Donk, John Velasquez. David Donk, he has been hot over the last couple of weeks.
I don't think this horse is impossible at all. I thought it was actually an interesting horse on the turf. And there's a little bit of dirt pedigree in the dam side in this horse.
Post-parade time. Sam the Bugler, braving the elements. Here's a look at the 8 who will kick things off for us with Appreciate again, Regime Mirage. John Toscano Jr. off the claim.
Sam always braving the elements. This one, Appreciate, claim last time out by John Toscano Jr.
Big number up there at 14-1. How will this horse take to the main track? The 2's going to have the rail. Equal rights for Chad Brown.
Oh, equal rights for Chad Brown. This is the Violence horse that is bred for dirt. And it's going to be very interesting what happens. Violence was a brilliant 2-year-old. It's unfortunate we never got to see him run at 3.
9-2 for equal rights here. We're going to see Super Committee next, and there is the 3 here in the Klarvich Stables Silks, trained by Rick Violet.
You have to imagine the plan here is you just send, and this horse looks to be the speed. This is not a pedigree that's crying out for dirt, though.
4-1 on the daughter of the Factor. Here's the 5, Love Mo, now with Ralph Nix.
It is funny, as Maggie mentioned, this horse is 1 of 2 not covered in the pick 6. She is one of the favorites in the multi-race bets. It's an Uncle Mo. I guess that's what they're going to. I don't know. It's a total guess if she'll handle it.
Free Kitty, 9-5 favorite. We've given some negatives, though, including those 6 seconds from 12 starts.
Well, sometimes maybe she's in a race and maybe no one will handle the dirt, and that'll get her the winner's circle. She's the horse to beat.
Here's the 9, Rubelite for David Donk, as we mentioned, daughter of More Than Ready.
She's a guess, just like the others, but she has a little bit of pedigree, and I think she's a little bit sneaky, too. Her races aren't as bad as they look, both of them on the turf.
8-1 on the outside runner. Talked about the Belmont showdown earlier in the day. Let's check in. We got a 2-way tie atop the board.
Our boy,
Bombs
our
Away
good
Bob.
friend, Bombs Away Bob, tweets at us all
Bob
a
Grant,
lot.
yeah.
Good
Bob.
man,
Well
Bob.
done, Bob.
Well done, Bob.
Absolutely.
And on top of it-
Finish.
Yes, got to finish.
Well, we're not rooting for anybody, right? Even though we like Bob.
yeah, true.
Bob's a great guy on Twitter. You
He
know, he
is.
really is.
Great follow on
Loves the
Twitter.
game.
Yeah.
Good guy. Nice to everybody.
Good luck. You can play this contest each and every day by going to NYRA.com/showdown. And again, you don't just get to see your name up top of the leaderboard. You get points in your account as well that equal money to play with. We're going to take a break. Our nightcap is coming up. We're approaching the 4-minute mark to post in race 8. Stay with us.
Grade 1 winner Lee traveled the world competing against the best of his generation. A graded stakes winner on both dirt and turf, he set a new track record in the Grade 1 Don Handicap and retired with earnings of more than $2.3 million. With his much-anticipated first foals hitting the ground this year, the sky is the limit for this promising young stallion, Lee, at Claiborne Farm.
Welcome back to Belmont Park Live here on MSG Plus, and we're experiencing a little rain shower here. I have to give props to my umbrella man, Harry Rice. But taking a look at a few horses in this field, Free Kitty is the one who's taking all the money right now, and because she has some dirt experience, and she's proven at least on it a bit. She is coming back in very short rest. And we saw with Cozy Spring in the last race, who was actually had a little bit more time in between her races. And the one thing I had noted that she was just very quiet for Cozy Spring, and she broke very flat-footed and really didn't have anything to offer. I will say that when Free Kitty first came in the paddock, she did show a lot of energy, but since then, she's kind of tailed off a little bit. Tailed off in relative terms to Free Kitty and how she can be. So we'll see. I just haven't seen horses come back off this short type of rest and be that successful as of late. Moving on to number 2, again, getting back to her equal rights. Love the warm-up that Jose Ortiz gave this filly. He broke straight away from the pony, and by when the 3 was passing in front of me, she was already on the backside. So she got a really nice warm-up and just really got over this track pretty nicely. So she's kind of won me over a little bit more in watching her warm up here, Greg.
All right, Maggie, thank you very much. I want to remind everybody, hey, it's opening day at Los Alamitos today. And Naira Bets members earn a 10% winner's bonus on all exactas. Racing continues through 7:30 Eastern time tonight, so head to nairabets.com after Belmont concludes to cash in on that exacta bonus offer.
I have a question. Paul LaDuca,
yes.
How many opening days at Los Al have you made? Roughly. The nearest 20.
I've made my few, actually, the quarter horse days, and then when they started, we're obviously running the flats there. So I'd say a little bit under 10.
It's a neat little racetrack.
Will you be playing tonight? Will you be playing Los Al?
No, I will not.
Really?
No, because here's the thing. Like,
I don't buy it.
When the California horse population went down in the quarter horse races, the horses that were winning the 4.5 furlong races were winning there.
He'll be playing tonight.
There's no chance Paul LaDuca won't be playing Los Al tonight, in case anybody's interested. I have full faith in you, Paul.
Okay, I'll tweet out my ticket.
All right, thank you very much. We get the 10% winner's bonus on exactas. Why wouldn't you play? Favorite Love Mo has become the favorite. The 5-horse with Junior Alvarado for Ralph Nix.
I can see it. Like Andy said, the Uncle Mo's, they like to swim. I mean, they love the mud, and maybe that's why this is going this way, but
I don't know.
I don't love it.
There has to be a story. How could this horse randomly be the favorite in this race? Why? It's not particularly fast in the turf. It's not I mean, it's a dirt pedigree, but it's not a pedigree that's screaming out to love dirt. They only tried the turf with it. I wonder if this horse is working well. Right? I don't. I guess, I guess. It's a crapshoot.
It really is.
I'm alive for a little money with the 2 and some Maltese. I'm rooting for the 2 in here, equal rights, who's getting bet as well.
There is the favorite stepping in. Sinks of Silverton Hill, LLC. Junior Alvarado will be aboard. We are set for the nightcap. So let's send it upstairs to the voice of New York racing. Here's Larry Colmus.
Appreciate moving into the starting gate. And 1 left to load. Rubelite will complete this field as the rain falls here at Belmont Park. Rubelite goes in. They're all in line. They're off and away to a very good start. Super Committee sent out of there with Love Mo, Rubelite on the far outside, Free Kitty and Appreciate close up 2, and sitting off the pace will be Equal Rights as they head up the backstretch. It is Super Committee on the inside, Free Kitty, Rubelite outside of them. These 3 dispute the pace. And they complete the opening quarter mile up the backstretch in a line. And then it's Equal Rights on the inside of Love Mo. Appreciate is last after a 22.68. Fleet opening quarter mile here, set by Super Committee and Joe Bravo, and Free Kitty is right alongside. Equal Rights has now made progress up into 3rd on the inside. Rubelite is 4th. Love Mo is 5th and Appreciate. So they make their way into the far turn past the half-mile pole. Super Committee, Free Kitty, 46.03 was the half-mile. Equal Rights stalking the top 2 and coming 3 wide after them now. 3 lengths ahead of Love Mo, who is under encouragement to keep up in 4th. And then it's Appreciate and Rubelite. They're coming to the top of the stretch, and here's Equal Rights now. Equal Rights and Jose Ortiz make their move for the lead, coming to the top of the stretch from Super Committee and Free Kitty, and the others have dropped far out of contention. They're into the stretch, and it is Equal Rights in control here, coming to the 8th pole with Super Committee 2 lengths behind on the inside, Free Kitty 3rd, and it's about 15 lengths back to the rest, headed by Love Mo in 4th. Down to the 16th pole, Equal Rights by 2.5. Super Committee is 2nd, Free Kitty is 3rd, coming down to the line. Equal Rights scores by 3. Super Committee was 2nd, Free Kitty was 3rd, and Love Mo was 4th in 139.67.
Chad Brown Barn closes out this Thursday card with a win. Equal Rights under Jose Ortiz.
Had the dam, I mean, Maggie talked about it. This horse was bred for the dirt, right?
Never looked like a loser. It was just cruising, and you could tell the 7, your favorite, was in trouble from the get-go because the rider, Emmanuel Franco, was asking to try to get to the front end and just couldn't get there. The 2 sat the trip and just blew right by both these horses.
They were, I mean, look at how fast they went early compared to the final time.
no.
Not surprising. But they went fast early and slow late, and nobody could pick up an inch of ground.
I'll give the 3 some credit. This 3 tried hard
I agree.
and never gave up.
Yeah.
Where the other horses sort of got put away, the 3 just kept on at least trying,
I agree. The 3 never stopped.
Race.
No,
never
I agree.
Stopped.
This horse had the least dirt breeding of anybody.
Yeah.
Kind of random.
3rd choice on the board.
Equal rights, baby.
Yeah. Well, listen, Violence was such a brilliant 2-year-old. He won the Cash Call Futurity as a 2-year-old. And it was unfortunate he got injured after that. And this was a nice ride by Jose. He's had a really good trip.
Seems weird seeing those Silks chasing Chad Brown, doesn't it? For a second.
No comment.
2, 3, 7, 5. Equal Rights closes out this card with a win. We'll be back with prices and a preview of some other big races we have coming up this weekend. We'll talk about that when we come back.
His record-breaking accomplishments on the racetrack paved his way here to the Stall of Legends. Now retired to stud, we welcome the dawning of a new era as this esteemed champion hopes to stake his claim to immortality. His blazing speed and striking good looks have been passed down to his remarkable first foals. Foals that will carry the flag of their famous father and one day hope to break records of their own. Medication-free and undefeated in sprint competition. Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Make NyraBets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With NyraBets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. NyraBets, racing's best play.
Welcome back to Belmont Park Live. Here with Jose Ortiz winning rider aboard Equal Rights in today's nightcap. And Jose, I noticed that you took her away from the pony in the warm-up. She got over this track in the post parade pretty good as well.
Yeah, she did. I let her go away from the pony. She galloped really nice, really kind. You know, with this kind of track, you got to let him feel it before the race. I think it's an advantage you let him feel it, and that's what I try to do.
And you've ridden her in all 3 starts. Could you say that she's better on one surface or the other?
I mean, not really. I mean, the first start she was green, and she came back. She didn't run too good. And I mean, today I think she got a perfect trip, and I think it helped her a lot. I mean, nobody was coming from behind too. The 2 guys that I had to beat were in front of me, and when I asked her to go, she responded well enough to win today.
And also more congratulations in store as you and your wife, Taylor Ortiz, announced your 2nd baby in the most interesting way I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, we're going to have a boy now. We really want a boy. We have the girl already, so it's nice to have a boy now in the family.
By hitting golf balls, talk about that.
I mean, I love golf. I really play a lot, and that's my hobby. That's the only thing I do outside of racing. And I think Taylor came up with that idea, and I think people like it.
It was. I mean, where did you find balls filled with blue powder?
I don't know. Amazon.
That's where you find everything, Jose. Congratulations in all aspects of your life.
Thank you very much.
Greg?
That is a talented young man right there. Eclipse Award-winning jockey from last year, ending Javier Castellano's streak of 4 in a row.
By the way, I've seen him at the driving range. I actually caught up with him in Lexington. He can hit a golf.
Really?
Well, yes, he can hit a golf ball.
Can he beat you at golf?
Yes, he can. He's
really?
a very good golfer. He's a very, very good athlete. And you can just tell by his anticipation how good he is on a racehorse. But congratulations to the connections here of the 2 Equal Rights. A filly by Violence has the exchange rate mare, Be Fair. And Jose gets it done now, 1 for 3 lifetime. And what a payoff. All you needed was 1 price, Greg.
If you could find Play Unified, the rest of it, it's right there for you.
Well, that's what we talked about, right?
$952
one
for the
one horse that
5.
was somewhat difficult, and one horse that was 1 to 5 in a 3-horse field.
And the 5-horse field is where you had to get the price.
By the way, we have a new shooter who took over the top spot in the Belmont Showdown with what that result.
That's a
We cursed Bob.
bad beat.
Wow. We cursed Bob. We
$5.50 beat.
Croatia forever. Topping that Belmont Showdown online contest. So congratulations. Some NYRA points in their account. You can play that again each and every day by going to NYRA.com/showdown. Play along without risking any of your own money. We're going to be back. We got more. We're going to look ahead to some big races coming up over the weekend when we return. Stay with us.
Bayern turning for home in front. Coast of New York on the outside. California Chrome in 3rd. Shared Belief laboring back there in 5th. 1 furlong to run. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome on the outside. The 3 of them come to the wire. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome. Here's the finish. Bayern holds on.
And they're off in New York. The premier state-bred program in the United States. When you own a New York bred, your horse can run for more than $44 million in purses, restricted to registered New York breds. And the New York program pays awards to breeders, owners, and stallion owners when their New York breds finish 1st, 2nd, or 3rd at New York tracks. We have the quality.
Audible, no doubt about it.
You have the opportunity. New York breds, get with the program. The best program.
Back on Belmont Park Live. Greg Wolf, Paul LaDuca, Andy Serling with you. And across town over at Monmouth Park this weekend, Grade 3 Eatontown on the turf at 1 mile and a 16th, where Chad Brown is going to send out a couple of runners.
I think he's got a horse in here, Dream a While, that you will be getting 3 to 5 before you get 3 to 1 on her, right? I may not be 3 to 5, but she's a huge favorite.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, obviously, Feeling Bossy and Jason Service will take some money, and so will Lift Up, who is 5 for 5 on the turf. You can't fault that.
Feeling Bossy centered here in the perfect sting. We need her to stay at home, right?
Yeah, that's true.
He might have a say in the United Nations as well, right?
Yeah.
He looks
Money
strong
multiplier, of course, one of the runners he will have in that race, coming off a victory in the Grade 2 Monmouth back on May 26th.
Good field, right?
2 Mike Makers and 6 horses
Brown,
trained by people whose first name begins with C.
It's crazy. I mean, he's so loaded in this race. But you know what? Trip always at Monmouth. Trip
is key, Paul.
Mother Goose, we talked about already a little bit. We visited with Mark Cassie earlier in the show. It sounds like just Road to Victory we're going to be seeing in that race over the weekend, and probably Delaware for Gio's game. Here's a look at Most Smart, who that one will face. Todd Pletcher runner, who has had only 2 starts and 20.5 lengths clear of the fields in those 2 wins.
Well, you can't knock what she's done. You can't knock a horse that's won by 20 lengths in 2 starts. But, I mean, she hasn't faced anybody yet. She's going to get the acid test, obviously.
I can knock anything, Paul. Come on. You're underestimating my talents.
Hope you enjoyed our show this afternoon. It was Posse Needed. Irad Ortiz Jr. back in race number 6, winning for the Mark Hennig barn. And Play Unified. This was the price that you needed in order to get a Naira Betts late pick 5 that, aside from this one, was pretty logical. Paid almost $1,000. We will see you on Friday. Twilight post time.